John is the senior researcher and research coordinator at Telos, similar to our Center for Sustainable Community Development, but it's at Tilburg University. He is a graduate in regional economics who has specialized in developing tools for monitoring and assessment. I'm not going to go through his whole resume, but John's been doing this kind of work for a long time, and we are delighted to have him here. So please welcome John Dagevos.
Thank you for all the nice words. Thank you, Consul General, for the nice words. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Bryn, for making it possible me to be here this afternoon. I'm working at Telos, and Telos has been founded in 1999 at Dunefield University, actually as a result of a planning process, a visioning process in the province of North Brabant. We started as a monitoring institute, but we became more and more involved, you might say, also in developing practical concepts on how you could achieve sustainable development. Just a little bit about what we think about what sustainability is, and all of you are fully aware of how we define sustainability, at least how we think about it. It's the definition of Brundtland, and we talk about sustainable development in terms of optimizing ecological, socio-cultural, and economic development conditions. Our task was to develop a monitoring device to see how regions, municipalities, neighbourhoods are performing from the perspective of sustainable development. And we used a three capital model, and I come back later on how we merged this with Mark's concept. So we make a distinction between three capitals: the economic, the social, cultural, and the ecological capital. And what we are doing is we are trying to integrate expert knowledge. We want to talk about the political, normative side of sustainable development, because it's not us scientists who decide how society should look like. No, it's something what the stakeholders, of society should make us aware of how it should be. And that's important, that this political normative nature of sustainable development. It means also that things are changing because our ideas about how things should look like are changing. That is related to this political normative concept. What we developed is the Netherlands became more or less famous. Is our visual interface. It's the Telos triangle to get an idea about how a region is performing. It's a model. What we call it consists of stocks of capitals. The main thing, three capitals of a number of stocks, both requirements or long-term goals. I come later on it, indicators and norms. I met Mark in 2009, and we started getting acquainted, and he said, I'm doing something similar, but only I'm using six capitals. They're more nuanced. We found that we were talking about the same kind of thing, and we were thinking in the same line. So it would be interesting to see if we could use his six capital model here in the Canadian context, and you look upon how the ways we were actually operationalizing and measuring these kind of things. So we started to merge our methodology of stocks, requirements, indicators and norms into the six capital framework. Basic framework is we have capitals, theory helps us to divide them in a number of stocks, that you might say the main elements of how a capital is developing. And the most important thing in our vision is to define the long-term goals, how each of these stocks should develop in the long run. These are the stocks we distinguish, and are more or less the same as they have been distinguished in Mark's framework. I won't go into those things. And related to each of these stocks, we have defined long-term goals. And actually, by doing this, is that we developed a language in which all kinds of stakeholder groups were willing to talk with each other about sustainable development. We have three different applications of this, you might say, of this conceptual framework. We measure the balance sheet for ex post monitoring. We have developed a PPP scan, and there's also developed a CC scan, a community capital scan, and that's actually meant for an ex ante assessment. So you can use the framework not only for measuring did we really get to the things we wanted to get, but also you could beforehand look upon is a project really contributing, or is it expected to contribute to all those goals we want to achieve? So at the very moment that you have defined what type of goals you want to reach in the long run, you can choose indicators which give you an idea about, are we really getting at the goals we want to achieve. So that's a technical thing. That's nothing about that's where science comes in, or where, for instance, in municipalities, the people who are giving statistical information are coming in. What's interesting in our approach is that we add one thing to it. We want to have not only to talk about are we reaching these goals, but we want to talk also about, and are we satisfied by the results we are getting. So we have two approaches. We started from the beginning to make a tailor-made one, because that's how we have been established. We were in a region, and this region wanted to talk about its own future. In this benchmark tool, we defined our own set of goals based on the experience we had in the past 15 years, and we used a standard set of indicators. The results which we create are, you might say, at three levels. Per stock, you can see we present our things in terms of stocks, in terms of pies and a triangle. The results are shown with the help of colors. Red is bad, orange is getting tricky, green is okay, and gold or yellow is perfect. We get results per stock, we get results per capital, and we present in the end a triangle, which gives you an idea about how a region or a municipality is performing. So each of these stocks consists of a number of indicators, and the more, the higher the score of the indicator is, the more the pie is, of the piece of the pie is filled, and the colors gives you an idea about whether things are good or bad. We try to add up each of the indicators to the level of the stocks, and we add them up to the level of the capitals, and then in the end you get the representation by the inner triangle. Let me give you an example. For the city of Tilburg, we developed the city of Tilburg is a city about 200,000 inhabitants. We developed the balance sheet for the third time this year, and two of the requirements or goals which are important for the city is that people should feel themselves safe. The other indicator, the other goal is the chance of becoming a victim of crime, disasters, or traffic accidents should be low. Norms, I said I talk about the indicator that people should be feeling themselves safe in the neighborhoods. 4 levels. When would it be in the feeling of the politicians and municipality? Which levels should be unsatisfaction? This was the result of our measurement in Tilburg in 2013, and what you see here is that this inner triangle is not half of the total triangle. So Tilburg is nearly halfway fulfilling its ambitions. This says, on the one hand, something of the actual performance of Tilburg, but on the other, it says also something about the ambitions. The higher the ambitions, the more difficult it is to achieve your goals. What we try to do in our approach is to combine expert knowledge in our project, because we think that sustainable development has a political and normative aspect in it. And what we have been trying to do is we try to go beyond boundaries, because that's what sustainable development is also about. And what are success factors when you do these kind of things? The first thing is, what's important is what we have discovered at the very moment that it's fitting in a, you might say, in a strategic visioning process of a municipality or a region, then you get more momentum than when you're doing it just as a technical exercise. The second thing is, at the very moment that stakeholders have been involved in developing your monitor, we have been better results and better resonance in the region. The third thing is, it's very important when you're from a municipality, take care that the project leader who is supporting us in developing it is backed by as well his political boss as his administrative boss. The very moment these two conditions, and these two are very important, are not being fulfilled, then that's our experience, then you won't get to a very successful monitoring. There should be a willingness for change. People should want to change things, because in the end, the result of what we are presenting is a monitor which gives you a number of things which are good and the things are bad, and the bad things you have to take action on, and that's important. And the last thing which is important is that if we are developing these kind of things, information that is already available in the municipality or in the neighborhood or in the region, if it's useful, use it, because you won't have all those discussions about which indicator is the best one. Now, if they are good, they're good. And that's up for us too. That's up to our judgment. But it makes that we don't put too much effort in trying to have discussion who has the best indicators. Thank you.